Hello YouTubers! Today I'm going to talk about layering HTV. It can be a bit tricky because you've got a lot of pieces and parts you've got to keep track of. This is our layered flamingo. He's from Christmas. And two of the big important things to make sure of is HTV will shrink. When you repeatedly heat it, the layers that are on the bottom will shrink over time. So you need to allow for that, which I'm going to show you how you can do on the Silhouette software. Also, make sure what you're going to layer will layer and stay. So this is all just plain vinyl, so it will all layer on top of each other. I could even wash them and he'll be fine. Most glitter, for example, you can't layer. You might get away with it, like this is a kitchen towel. It's pretty much just gonna not get washed that often. Just sit in my kitchen and be decoration. I probably could have layered glitter on them. It'd been okay, but on a t-shirt, probably not so much. So, but we'll go through how to make, we're gonna make our Easter design. This is the free design up on the webpage for this month. This is the embroidered version. So we're gonna make the HTV version. So I'm gonna go to the computer and show you how to set them up, how to allow for some of the shrinking that's gonna happen, and then we'll go to the heat press and put it all together. Alright, so we are in Silhouette Studio, and I have gone to File and Merge, and that's how I've gotten this little guy up here. He is our free design on the webpage this month, so you can go download him. This is the month of April, but there are free designs every month up there, so even if you don't get this guy, you can still go and grab something else that'll be free. So what I'm going to do is select him, and you might have to go right-click and ungroup, and it'll get all your little pieces and parts. We're also going to have to shrink him down. He's going on a towel. So what I did is I clicked and dragged everything. Right now he's huge. He's 10 by 11. So he's not going to fit on my towel. So this little window with a diagonal in it is a scale window. So we are going to make him roughly, let's see, actually go 7. Go 7 inches. Okay. What happened there was I didn't have the lock aspect ratio clicked, so he's now 7 inches wide and 0.1 inches high. So handy dandy undo button. Does he have to be grouped? He has to be grouped or else it won't work. So right click and group. See, now I can click aspect ratio. Now let's make him 7 inches wide and he'll shrink like he's supposed to. Now go back to right click and ungroup. And that gives you all little pieces and parts. So let's click this one and click the bottom one. Let's group those two together. These two we're going to cut by themselves because they can go on first and they can go on last. It doesn't really matter. This is where our layering is going to come in. And so let's see. Let's click. It's our bunny on one piece. Alright, so this is our bunny. Now we've got a cutout for our bunny ears, but what I did for this one is there's no cutout for the eyes and the nose, and I did the same thing for here. So there's no cutout for this. Now if you want to cut out or if you don't, that's honestly a very personal preference thing. I don't, because when you're trying to layer it, you have to cover up all the holes or you have a gap. And if I don't have holes, if I'm off on the bunny ears, and the bunny ears are a little over here, nobody's going to know. But if I've cut them out, everybody's going to know that I'm off. So, but if you really, really want, because the other argument to that is that you can remove the layers and it's less bulky. Now, if you're taking a shirt, that might be personal preference that you want it to be, you don't want so many layers. So what you can do is click both of them. See, I've got the ears clicked and the actual bunny ears here. Go up to the modify window and you can hit subtract all, and what's going to happen is the bunny ears are going to cut out. From the inside of the ear is going to cut out from the bunny ear. And if that's what you want to do, there's your little button to do it. I don't, so undo. There we go. And then the other thing, like I was mentioning, this little yellow part is going to have to go on first. So this little yellow part is going to have to go on first. And so when I put this on, this yellow part might have shrunk because of him getting heated up so much. So what I want to do is make my bunny ears right here a little bit bigger, because so that way if this yellow part does decide to shrink at all, the white from the bunny ears can cover them. So what I'm going to do is click them and go to this window. It's the offset window. It's a pentagon, and click the offset. Offset is that's going to come to the outside. This would be an internal offset, so it would begin inside. And so what you do is when I click it, see, it makes an island around here. Now, okay, when you do that, you have to go right away and work with it, because if you don't, it just makes it and you're kind of done. So let's click him and delete him. Let's try this again. So you click him, hit offset, and now my window pops up. Now, if you click anything else, you're stuck with what you have and you have to start over. So you can click the down arrow, and this is basically going to be our new outline. There is a delay when I release my mouse, and it kind of keeps going. And honestly, the offset, another one that's kind of personal preference. You can kind of do it as much as you want to. It's also a really good way if you have a skinny font and you need to make them fatter. So now we're going to go to the paintbrush and fill him in. And so now we have a little bit fatter bunny ears. And that would be... So if this yellow shrinks, which it will, I'm going to be able to cover that opening up with my bunny ears that are a little bit fatter. Now you don't need to do that with the nose and the feet, because they're not going to have to line up. If this is a little bit smaller, it's not going to, you're not going to notice it. The same with the eyes. You could also subtract these if you don't want to layer them. Or say you wanted to make the chick all in glitter, then you would need to subtract them out so that this stuff can get to the shirt, or else it won't stick. Alright. So we don't need those anymore. So what I do is, we're going to take all of this and then we're going to mirror them. Flip horizontally, because we're doing it in Htv. Now, I try to cram as much of this on one mat as I can. So we'll put all of these. So I hit my shift button and click. Those are my feet. And then my eyes. My eyes can actually go in here, because it's all going to be black. Those are the little bitty eyes. And then these are my bunny ears. They can all go together. Those are my pink ears. And my little yellow bunny. Not bunny, chick. Alright. So, got everything on. So what I'm going to do is cut my vinyl. I'll show you. I'm going to cut my vinyl out. I have a self-healing cutting mat. And so what I do is I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to cut my 4x4 piece of yellow vinyl, and then I'll cut over and come over, and that's how I will put all my vinyl in here. Alright, so this is a self-healing cutting mat. It's mostly used for cutting fabric, and this is my Rotary Cutter. It's basically a razor blade in there, so be very, very careful. I have this from cutting fabric. You could also, if you didn't want to, just get a ruler out and cut. Measure, cut. You can even draw on this if you have a regular pen. You can draw on it. But like I was saying, the little bunny, so what we were making, the bunny is going on a pink towel for my kitchen. And so we're doing it all in neon, because I'm a very colorful person, if you haven't figured that one out over the years. So the bunny is going to be neon yellow, and I counted it's 4 over and 4 tall. So what I'm going to do is we're over, so my one's starting here. So you can't see me, my one's starting here. And so it's going over to 4. So we're going to go all the way to where 5 starts. And then my ruler, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So engage your scissors or your cutter. Cut up. Normally it's only 1 cut. And then come over and cut. I didn't cut all the way through, so just use my scissors. And there is my piece. And I'm using a Cricut mat because they're cheaper. I'll do a video, but I just cut mine. I cut my edges so that they line up better with the machine. So now I just lay it down. So that was our first square. And we'll do one more. I have a scrap. These are going to be our bunny ears. Our bunny was 2 over and 1 tall. So if you don't have a ruler, you can totally wing it too, which I have been known to do. So our bunny ears, the inside of the bunny ears were 2 and then 1. So there's our little piece. And they go right here. Okay. So I'm going to finish cutting out all of our little pieces, and then we'll go over to the machine and cut. Alright, so we're back over the computer. There were a couple changes. I'm going to do this in neon green. So I moved the eyes out up here and I cut them. And then this one over here I cut, it should have been 2 tall instead of 1 tall. So I had to recut that piece. So, the truth in crafting. Alright, so now I'm going to click everything, go over to my cut settings, and then I'm going to hit cut edge, and it's going to light up everything. If your cut settings don't come up, sometimes it's because click those, and then everywhere that's red will cut. Now I'm going to come down here. You have a vinyl setting up here, but I'm pretty sure that's for adhesive backed vinyl. So come down here to heat transfer. This is just smooth. They've got flocked, which is the fuzzy, and then they've got a glitter setting in here now. And so it's set at 2. And I just use all of these settings. I do turn on the overcut, and I do 0.2 and 0.3. And then I'm going to put it in the machine, and we're going to cut. I'll go meet you over at the heat press when everything is cut and weeded. Alright, so these are all my little pieces. I've got them all cut and weeded. Ended up cutting and splitting up Eastern y'all because it just seemed like a lot of vinyl to be wasting. And now we're going to go over to the heat press. I've got my towel in there. You can use, this is disappearing ink. It's pretty cool. You can write on it if you want to center something, and then it'll either disappear pretty quick, or you can wash it and it will disappear. So, and then make sure you wait 24 hours before you wash any of your HTV, because they say so. I don't actually really know why. But I'm going to do a pre-press of my towel to get out the wrinkles and any moisture. I've got it set to 305, which is kind of the manufacturer's recommendations. Now, if you see, I don't know if you can really tell, but my pink got a little bit darker. That is okay, because most of the time it'll come back up. And I just kind of center him, and I've got my pillow in here, my Teflon pillow. I think it just does better. So, and I've got him roughly centered. I generally just kind of like to wing things. That's kind of how I work. All right, so I moved you a little bit closer so you can see a little better. So the one thing with the layering of the HTV, you got to think, how does this need to be layered? So obviously my little chick bunny goes in the middle. I can also put Happy Easter already on there. You can press multiple ones all at once, as long as the vinyl, as long as I don't do this. So that my vinyl would adhere to this carrier sheet and not to the fabric. So keep an eye on for that, because I have totally layered vinyl on top of a carrier sheet before. And make sure you leave some room for feet. And of course that doesn't want to stick. So, and then what we're gonna do, so kind of layer it all, or line it all up. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna close your press. 1, 2, 3. Pop them back open. And then hopefully these have all sort of kind of mostly stuck. So be careful when you take them up, because we didn't do it long enough to really stick everything. And the reason that we're doing it that way is so that to minimize shrinking. So don't put the heat press on here and just press and press and press and press, because all you're really going to do is shrink your vinyl. Alright, so those are our bunny ears. Now you need to line him up. So I'm going to cut the bottom off, because that way we can layer more things in each press. Because you want to minimize the number of presses to kind of make life easier on your HTV and your fabric. Because remember, you are pressing and heating. So those are our bunny ears on. Then we can also put on our little feet. And put on our eyeballs too. And we can put on our eyes. Now I need my carrier sheet, my Teflon sheet now, because I have exposed vinyl on here. So we got everything on there. So now we will press again for another, like, I say 1, 2, 3, open. With your sheet. And see, that little part of the feet didn't stick quite as much as we would like, but we'll hit it another time. So we'll make sure we get them stuck. So then these are the inside of our ears. All right. We are going to cut our little eyeballs here. And when I say cut, we're just cutting the carrier sheet. That way we can get our eyes in there and our nose all at the same time. And I'm trying to get him lined up so that he doesn't look crazy, or she. Oh, we may just have to wait on that one. At least we have to wait on our nose. All right, so cover sheet. Close. 1, 2, 3. Open. Take our sheet off. Now we can take our ears off. And our eyes. And then we can put our little beak on. And now this time I'm going to let it go for the full time. And this will be our final press for everything. So this will be 15 seconds, I think. Yeah, 15 seconds. And that way anything that's on there that was more sort of kind of stuck down will really be stuck down at this point. Alright, so we are done. So that is our completely layered little bunny. If anything doesn't want to stick, just put the sheet back on your Teflon sheet and just press again. Sometimes you need to let it cool down a little bit. Also, all of the vinyl I had was a hot peel. If you get a brand from a different manufacturer than I used, sometimes it's a cold peel. So make sure that you are following the manufacturer's recommendations, and make sure that whatever you're wanting to layer can layer. Other than that, and like I said, you can use a disappearing ink to mark wherever you want to. Make sure it is not heat set ink. Make sure it's water soluble ink. And you can put as many lines as you want to help center your design. I generally just kind of wing it, but because I figure it's really not that big of a deal. So that's my one, and then I love Peeps, so that was my other one. So those will hang up in my kitchen for Easter. Well, I hope that helped you layer some HTV and not be so scared. If you have any questions, let me know. These are free, and I'll put links up to all the supplies that I used. And I will be back with another tutorial soon. Thank you.